Hello Star Wars The Old Republic players, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to discuss what's happening so far from what we know in 2024 on the game. In case you missed it, Keith Koenig, who is the executive producer of Star Wars The Old Republic right now, made a message celebrating everything that happened on 2023 and gave us a little glimpse of what is happening on 2024, and he said this message on the official website at the end of the year, close to the holidays. So let's recap all those things there. First of all, the next update would be 7.4.1. For that update, it will be a brand new Galactic season. It will be Galactic Season 6, and he talks about that they're going to do a new spin on the story where they're going to take you back to a location that you haven't been to in quite some time. So this means we're returning to an older planet, and the main reward of this galactic season will be something of the planet, which heavily hints that it's going to be a stronghold. Of course, this is complete speculation, but from the wording it says the story and primary reward of the season will take you back to a location that you haven't been to in quite some time, and it has quite a view. Now, I do think it's pretty challenging the bit of it has quite a view, because I think a lot of these planets have a lot of really nice views. So I'm not quite sure what would be the ideal one here. In terms of planets we haven't been to in a long time, I always kind of wanted to go back to Sakul. Even if it's just outside the main story, I wanted to know what's going on now, because so much has happened since the events of the Eternal Throne, and we haven't really been able to see what's the status of Sakul beyond Koth telling us there were some conflicts going on there briefly, but we only talked with him about it, we didn't actually see it. But that's my personal hope. Since it says it has quite a view, honestly I don't know which one specifically I would say, but we won't have to wait long to find out what it's going to be, because there will be a live stream for this update 7.4.1. It will be on February 14, tentatively so far. And he also says that they will also talk about 7.5 on this new live stream, which means that it will talk about the next story update. The only thing we do know is that they're going to continue the story of Lane Vizsla with the Basilisk Wardroid prototype. He teases that it could come to a meaningful conclusion this time, or a new beginning. So I guess we'll see if we finally will get our little wardrobe. But the other thing to notice about this live stream is that it's on February 14. And February 14, as you may know, is Valentine's Day. And something that Old Republic players, I know a lot of people involved in role-playing with their character stories, making their own stories. We love to see more about the romances in games, because some of these romances we haven't talked to in a while because there's so much frenetic action. So other than some new character introductions getting the flirt romantic moments, we haven't really gotten new stuff for some of the existing romances. Some of them for a while. I think the exception would be Akabi and Torian, which recently got some stuff on Runa, which was great. But I'm very curious if perhaps the reason they chose that day is to talk something about romances. And I want to give a special shout out to Shintar, who has a blog called the SWTOR Going Commando blog post, and they point out that in the Chains in the Dark poster, there are some things that haven't actually been seen yet on 7.4, and it's probably gonna happen in 7.5. The very first noticeable thing here is the Rodian on the left side is not present at all in this 7.4 story. So this Rodian could be on the 7.5 story. I mean, pure speculation on my part, of course. Now, the second thing to notice here is that on the center of Chains in the Dark, there's a machine, which seems very likely is the machine featured on the big CGI trailer of Legacy of the Sith, which means this is the big Darth Maul machine. And well, this is also not seen in Chains in the Dark, but spoilers alert, just in case, it's been a while, but just in case, Sahar tells the player that Heta has already begun working on the machine, or weapon. So the thing that Heta could be working on right now is this machine from the big CGI trailer. she's recreating it with the information in the datacron. So perhaps in a future cutscene on 7.5 we will get to see this machine very soon. Lastly, on the right side, you will see a hot palace. And well, what other place has hot palaces visible, excluding Tatooine, would be Hotta. And this makes a lot of sense because Kessen's landing brought us back to Ord Mantell. So it could make sense that we go back to Hotta in another update, if they are continuing this tradition of going to these planets and seeing them in a new light. Now, it is entirely possible that maybe some of these ideas were scrapped or were cut for later. So I think that's the general idea of what I can see for 7.5. I know there's some data mines and stuff, but I don't want to cover those. I want to stick to the official things that we can see. And the reason for that is because sometimes there's things on these data mines that don't make the cut. I essentially don't want to give you false hopes in case those things don't pan out. Anyway, that's in general everything we know about 7.4.1 and 7.5. In terms of in-game events, the Relics of the Gree event has returned. It started yesterday. It'll be up for the rest of this week until Tuesday. And on January 23, the Pirate Incursion event will return until January 30. Also keep in mind the Life Day event is over and all the collection sales, all the double XPs are over, but I do still recommend you check out the Cartel Market every day if you can, because there's always a daily flash sale that sometimes features some really cool armors. Also this week they have the black and black dies on sale and the black and white dies on sale, as well as these other things on the bottom, including some weapons and character renames. Lastly, don't forget there's going to be a new PvP season as well. That's already in the game, so likely it should begin sometime maybe in February. The current season 1 is still active and will be most of this month. It has like 20 days left, around there. The next season 1 is actually pretty cool too. I'm showing you here in case you never checked it out. You can also preview it yourself in the collections tab if you go to PvP seasons. So yeah, that's pretty much what we know so far on Star Wars The Old Republic for 2024. Well, at least early 2024. As always, keep yourself subscribed for any news that may pop up, and of course when the stream happens, hopefully it does happen on February 14, I'll make sure to give you a full recap of the live stream news. Anyways, see you next time.